When Diablo 4 was first announced, I thought, cool, another Diablo. And I thought, well, it's Blizzard, modern day Blizzard, so we'll see if it's any good or not. And then they announced that it was going to be an open world game. And I thought, oh, God, not another open world game. My open world experience with AAA developers is Assassin's Creed and Far Cry. And if you play one, you've played the other. It's just one's got a sword and the other one's got a gun. One's third person, one's first person. That's about as different as they are. They both have you going and crafting and gathering and stuff like that. It's all this, go free this, whatever. It just gets all the same copy paste repetitive, and I can't stand either one. I can play one every once in a while, but I can't do two of them back to back. They're just too much repetitive. And to be fair, Diablo 4 is a lot of that, and you could see that they're changing the crafting system and dropping, all the different stuff you have to go gather is going to just be a bundle of herbs. Like, they understand it was a stupid idea, and it's the same crappy system that so many of these other AAA open world style games have. And yeah, so anyway, but when I heard open world, like I said, the first thing I thought was, this is going to suck. It's going to be the normal AAA garbage. But then I don't know if I slipped a cog or I don't know, something went a little bit further and I thought, you know what? It could be good. It could actually be cool. An open world Diablo style game. I'm choosing my wording very carefully. I don't want to say action RPG and make people think Elden Ring. No, we're specifically talking about Diablo style game. I'm talking about a Grim Dawn, a Last Epoch, a Path of Exile, and a Diablo. That's it. I will be mentioning other games because I'm going to talk about concepts that I liked from other open world or open world style games, but I only mention those because they're kind of along the path to get where I'm going. So, what I think a good open world game has is atmosphere, variety of biomes, a reason to explore, spontaneity, cool things to go check out, cool things to go do. Good examples would be Elden Ring. I haven't finished it yet, but Elden Ring had a wonderful open world. I love, you get the horse almost immediately, you're riding around, and there's this huge open world to go explore. Valheim was really good. I played a lot of that when it first came out. Fallout 3, I specifically mentioned this game because of the vaults and the variety that each vault has. Each one was basically, it's a dungeon in that game system or that game world, but each vault was different. Some had friendly NPCs, some were empty. They were, I don't know, something killed everything off inside of them. Others had monsters in them. They had variety to them. That's what I liked about them. As I rode the horse through Diablo 4, it made me think of Red Dead Redemption, the original one. I haven't played the second one, but the original one was cool to ride around. There was a lot of cool things to go and do. So I really enjoyed, in Elden Ring and Red Dead Redemption both, just riding around in the open world. I mean, you didn't necessarily have to go and have a purpose, but just riding around in it because it had a good atmosphere and because there was cool stuff to go see. And, sometimes there'd be just something cool pop up. Oh, what's that? I want to go see that. There's a cool looking building over there, or what, there's people to go rob, whatever. There was just spontaneous stuff to go do. So I enjoyed a lot of that. So what makes an open world game bad? Repetitive content. Very simply, if you've got the same dungeon that you go through the portal, you go down and then to the right, pretty much every dungeon in Diablo 4, you go through the portal, down and to the right. You go through the portal, down and to the right. Every single one did that. I started paying attention to every dungeon and I'm like, geez, every one of them, in, down, right. And then at once, I think one or two of them started going to the left and I was like, oh my God, they put variety in the game. We go to the left. And I know there's maybe not necessarily a whole lot of choices there between up, down, left, and right, but everyone doesn't need to go to the right. So you don't want repetitive content. You don't want to have to walk everywhere. I don't care if it's a pogo stick or a moped or whatever, something other than walking everywhere. In Diablo 4, it took forever, 10 or 20 hours to get the horse. That should have been done within the first couple hours, if not just handing it to you as soon as you get done in the tutorial area like Elden Ring did. Elden Ring was a perfect example. You walk out of that first area, here's your horse, go ride around. You got the little starting area, you go learn the ropes, here's how you walk and dodge and do all this stuff. Here's your horse, go. Diablo 4, nah, you got to go through all these quests and hoof it all over the place. And it sucked. That was terrible. Generic gathering and crafting system that's in every open world AAA game ever. Yeah, we don't need that. But we've got it. And they're fixing some of that, to be fair. They are fixing that. Now, what I did like, so that's what makes an open world game bad, right? What I did like about Diablo 4's open world is that once you did get the horse, as I mentioned about riding around, it reminded me of Red Dead Redemption. Like I'm riding around, I'm like, this is cool. I rode from this tan snow area to this tan mud area to this tan dirt area. Like it was all the same color of brown everywhere you went, but at least it had some difference in biome. I would have liked a little bit more variety in the look of it, but whatever. At least, you could ride throughout the map. You could see the biome change a little bit here and there, and it was cool. What made it bad was there's just no point in the open world. Like the way it's implemented in Diablo 4, there's really no reason for it. You get the world boss every once in a while that comes around. It's scripted on time. You're just wait 10 minutes and it'll be over there. You need spontaneity. You can't just say, well, it's on a clock. It's coming over here. It's going to be in that area. Teleport over there and go wait. Great times. Yeah, it's not really good. The horse takes far too long to get. In the actual open world, whether you're walking or riding or whatever, there's huge stretches where it's just this long path between two villages and there's nothing in between. Maybe there's a pack of monsters. Maybe they aggro and chase after you a little bit. A lot of times it's just empty roads. That's it. And it's like just boring empty roads. The dungeons are all the same, down and to the right, down and to the right. And a lot of this just felt like the same Assassin's Creed and Far Cry formula and just boring. Now, beyond the open world portion of it, the other thing that I was thinking about was the story. And I've been revisiting Diablo 1. I need to go back and finish it. I've all the way down in the very bottom, but I haven't got it done yet. I want to go back through Diablo 2 and 3. Now, I'm a person that grew up with Diablo 1, 2, and 3. I played the first one when it came out. I played the second one when it came out. That was in the late 90s and early 2000s. It took me until 2016 to actually play Diablo 3, but I've been around for all three of those games. A lot of people that are playing Diablo 4 have not. And as stupid as this is going to sound, the game named Diablo 4 doesn't even have Diablo in it. Now, I have not actually completed the game to know this, but I've seen it enough other people say it. I can't believe they came out with a Diablo game without Diablo in it. It's mind-blowing. So, all this being said, I've had this thought and it popped up. I was thinking about it and I was like, that's a really cool idea. I'm surprised nobody else has said this. I've not seen anybody else say this idea. I'm not saying I'm the first. I'm just saying I have personally not seen anybody else mention this. And there's a lot of people that have played the variety of different games, Diablo 1, 2, and 3, and nobody's really mentioned it. And in the day and age where we have Final Fantasy VII being remade, we've got Dead Space that's remade. We've got the different Resident Evil games being remade. Nobody's mentioned remaking Diablo. And I think this is where the biggest miss and the most unfortunate side of it all is. You've got people today that are playing Diablo 4 that don't realize that Diablo was named specifically because there's a demon named Diablo that you're going to go kill at some point. And I think that's a huge miss. Number one, you've got people like me that are old school fans that Diablo 1 is such an old game. It was relegated. It was obsolete when Diablo 2 came out. Even back then, I had a hard time going back to play Diablo 1. It was hard to go play. You played Diablo 2, and that's what you played. You just never went back to 1. It was painful to do. So if you've got somebody like me that finds it, now today I find it nostalgic to go back to, but you've got people like me that it's probably been 30 years, 27, 28 years since they played the original Diablo, or 24 years since they played Diablo 2, or, Diablo 3 was like the last big thing that came out before we've got Diablo 4. But my point is, you've got people who played the originals back in the day that probably aren't going to go back and play them again. You've also got the rest of the crowd that has never played a Diablo ever. Maybe they started with Diablo 3. A lot of them probably started with Diablo 4. They think it's great, but they have no concept that there's this huge backstory and all this other cool stuff that's happened that they're just not even included on. And then for me, I don't know who Lilith is. Lilith did not exist in any of the original Diablos ever. I think I looked her up on Wikipedia, and if memory serves, she was like in some season of Diablo 2 somewhere. I never played the seasons. I only ever played the original game, the story, and that's it. I played Diablo 3. So any of the characters in there I know or would be familiar with. I don't know who Lilith is. So here's the grand idea, and you're probably getting a good concept of what I'm trying to say here. Final Fantasy VII is being remade over the course of multiple entries. And with that, so let's take that idea and let's take the idea of an open world game. And at some point in here, I'm going to throw a map up on the screen of what the Diablo 4 world looks like. And if you look at this map, this is the entire overworld for all of Sanctuary. Now, the green circle is Tristram. That's the original Diablo. The yellow line moving across and the yellow marks on here is Diablo 2. Diablo 3 is the red marks, and then all this blue section is Diablo 4. Everything, the Kyrgyzstan, the Swampland, Dry Steppes, Skazglen, all of that is Diablo 4. If they can model that much of this world in Diablo 4, they could surely remodel or model all the rest of this and then retell the Diablo 1, 2, and 3 story through all of that. And the grand concept that I've had with this is to split those games up into different seasons. So here's season 1. It's going to tell the story of Diablo 1. Season 2 comes out and tells the story of Diablo 2 or part 1 of 2 or something like that. Then you've got the next season tells the next section. And you don't necessarily have to retell the entire games, like the whole big saga, but you could definitely tell the major beats. Like King Leoric from Diablo 1 and his son would be a huge story to put in there. Encountering the Butcher for the first time in that whole setting would be huge. Introducing the players to all the different Wirt and all the other NPCs, Griswold and all the different NPCs that they've got. So much of that to introduce all the people to. You get some fan service in Diablo 4, but you've got players that have just started playing that have no idea who this dude from Diablo 2 is that they just talked to. So there's a huge missed opportunity to actually go through and retell the first 3 stories in order on the open world as, say, different seasons or different expansions, however they did it. Just tell that whole saga out front and then introduce Lilith and explain where she fits into all this, then have the Diablo 4 that we know today, and then go on with the other expansions that go forward. I think that's how they should have done this, is just rebooted the entire thing, because that will retell the story for those of us that played it originally. That will tell the story for people that have never experienced it. That will bring it all together into a nice big package. It will introduce Lilith and all the live service and all that stuff going forward. I think that would have been very well received, and it would have bridged the gap between the old players, the new players, retold all of it. And like I said, with Final Fantasy VII, they're not exactly one for one remaking the game. They're actually making a portion of the game with the first one that they released. They're expanding the content. They're adding some stuff here and there. They're maybe tightening some things up. Then they're coming out with another one that tells more of the story. So you're getting more of it laid out as it goes. This is a live service game. They could continually be developing the story as they go and just release new sections season after season after season. And here's dungeons. And with the open world, they could have hell rifts that just pop open every once in a while. Now demons are coming out. You got to go fight them off or something. Or now you go down into hell and you got to go find something. Hey, go get this trinket out of this whatever. There's so many things that could be done. But we got Diablo 4 the way it is today. So anyway, I just wanted to gather my thoughts and throw them out there into the universe in case somebody wins the lottery or rubs the right genie's ass or something or whatever. If we could get a remake of retelling and not, I don't want the Warcraft 3 reforged or whatever situation. I want an actual remake of all three Diablos combined together. If you're going to do live service, do that. Bring all of us together, show Diablo, show all the other primevals that are there, show all the angels, show all the story, bring us all up to speed, and then go forward with whatever you want to do. That's what I want. That's what I think we should have got. And that will do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.